Alright, man. Touchdowns and Tangents, episode 85. We're in the Good News radio station having some technical difficulties. So, for in the meantime,
and in between time,
I'm PD Camarillo.
I'm Kenneth Frank James Berry.
And yeah, we're pretty much just stalling time, waiting to get this thing right. So, not in case, because you all missed our entire intro, KB was breaking down Hard Knocks from the week, as well as sharing some of the significant influence that Aretha Franklin has had on culture, not just in music, but really across culture. Did I miss anything, KB?
Yeah, I mean, in the black community, you got to understand, we don't play when it comes to Aretha Franklin, Spades, and a couple other things I don't feel like naming right now. So, like, she's an auntie, a godmother, a mother, a grandma, a sister. Literally, Aretha Franklin means everything to the black community. Like, everything. She was, like, you touched on it, but she was big in she came up right around the civil rights era, and she was a voice of a time period. And when it comes to Aretha Franklin, she really is the queen of soul. And arguably...
And she had a great voice.
Like, a heavenly voice. Like, when you think of Whitney Houston pretty much was influenced by Aretha Franklin. There was no one before Aretha Franklin. I mean, there was, like, in gospel, there was other people. But as far as, like, that genre, Aretha Franklin came in and shut it down. And was shutting it down her whole career. 76 years young. She had an amazing life. Was around her family and friends in Detroit. And she will truly be missed.
And I took a couple of moments to shout out Bud Light for them giving the city of Cleveland a bunch of refrigerators filled with beer off the chance that the Browns might actually win a game. In that event, the whole city will actually get free beer and be able to turn up and celebrate the Browns' first victory since Robert Griffin III.
Yeah. And not only that, I mean, it'll be a way to get their depression off LeBron James leaving and the Cavaliers that are going to suck.
And the whole economy that's going to suffer from not having Cleveland Cavaliers games sold out every single night.
Even though, let's be honest, LeBron did more for the city of Cleveland than Dan Gilbert ever did. I mean, literally, did Dan Gilbert put a school in Cleveland? I don't think so.
I guess, bro, but at the same time...
LeBron put a school in Cleveland.
At the same time, Dan Gilbert played Tristan Thompson, J.R. Smith, Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving, all things LeBron wanted, so...
you play the piper, because guess what?
Exactly.
You know who Dan Gilbert was drafting before, outside of Kyrie? Do I need to say his name?
Actually, Dan Gilbert doesn't draft.
Anthony Bennett.
He doesn't draft, but try again.
He was responsible for He was responsible for Anthony Bennett and Kyrie Irving being on a trash Cavaliers team until LeBron came back. So there you go.
Try again.
He's the money man.
Stop.
He learned to shut up and just get out the way, and LeBron did everything.
All right.
I mentioned LeBron.
Anyways,
school.
I really, honestly, bro, I'm telling you this, and I've been telling you this. I'm literally going to start a GoFundMe to get you to stop talking about basketball. Because, literally every time you talk basketball, you say some blasphemous-ass shit that makes no fucking sense.
I said the
But I digress.
Shout out to our affiliate, to the Barbershop Podcast.
The Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast on the X Squad. Shout out to them.
Shout out to Trey.
KB gave a great, long, unabridged edition of how this podcast started, as well as really what you can expect.
A really great story.
You can check that out on IG, TDs_Tangents.
And yes, the Phoenix Suns will be a thorn on the Lakers' sides, because they historically kind of have been.
Oh, the other thing we forgot that we talked about already.
Trash ass 2K ratings.
Corey Coleman getting cut. Or not cut, traded to the Buffalo Bills, where he'll probably go to have his whole career die.
Ruined. He'll probably end up in New England running one go route. Or he'll end up in Carolina and he'll be Ted Ginn Jr., but not as fast.
Well, as I mentioned before, you sure weren't hating on the move when he came out of Baylor. So
Well,
let's talk about that.
We kind of need to redact a lot of things from Baylor over the years. Jalen Hurts still might be a first round wide receiver, a former running back at Tennessee, and one of the greatest players in the state of Tennessee. And then got a raw deal at Tennessee, and then left, and now he's at Baylor rebuilding himself. By the way, I hope it really works out for him. He's the only person on Baylor we're talking about, and he hasn't played yet. And he transferred, and he sat out last year. So, yeah. But when it comes to, Antonio Callaway totally took his spot. You already have Josh Gordon stepping away. Didn't want to be there for Hard Knocks, let's just be honest. It's better. I think it's just better this way. I'm glad that punishment tactic that they used on Callaway, instead of just holding him out and not letting him play, they made him play every snap in that game, which was probably
just so you know. I threw a bunch of gunshots on there because we got the gun sound back.
I know. I appreciated it. I missed it. I've been shooting at a lot of people for a lot of weeks, and I was gonna shoot at Pete's hairline, but it's not worth it because, Anyway.
That's pretty much it for what we talked about, but didn't get recorded.
Carnassian, Devin Cajuste, his father, had like 3 heart attacks on Hard Knocks Day. He admitted he had a 3rd heart attack, and you could tell like Devin Cajuste was about to cry. He's like, "Dad, you just gonna tell me that you had a heart attack for all these people, and you just got off a plane yesterday?" It was really emotional stuff, and like Devin Cajuste was a wide receiver in college at Stanford, and then he should have always been a tight end, honestly, but that's how they do big body receivers. They just won't put you at tight end where you really need to be. Like Evan Moore, a guy who was like 6'8", played receiver, fractured his hip, almost never played again. Ended up a tight end for the Cleveland Browns. Go figure. They have a history of Stanford guys who become tight ends. They had a really good track record with Jordan Cameron. So Cleveland is that one franchise that knows how to actually get college receivers and turn them into pretty decent NFL tight ends. So there's that. But also, Myles Garrett is a monster, and Greg Robinson is mad soft. So, Pete, do you want to keep...
Is Greg Robinson still in the league?
He's on the Browns.
I didn't
Myles
know that.
Garrett beat the shit out of him. He bull rushed him and embarrassed him. And then...
Which, by the way, I've been hearing a lot.
Garrett hit him in the face and said, "What?" He's like, "I'm pass rushing." And then Hugh Jackson was like, "Well, he did beat you, Greg." Greg Robinson is big and athletic for no reason.
Which was his old knock in college, but he was supposed to be a physical run blocker at least.
No,
they messed up moving him from guard. They should have just kept him at tackle.
I mean, he wasn't really a guard with the Rams.
That's what I mean. They messed that up in general. He should have just been a guard from the jump, but they're like,
just like
you're
Jason
too
Smith,
big and athletic.
Left tackle?
Yeah, pretty much.
The Rams don't know how to draft left
and
tackles.
Alex Barron.
Shout out to the New Mexico guy. They had a guy from New Mexico who was really decent. I'm only saying that because shout out to the homie Andrew. Oh, man, I can't remember his name. But yeah.
Other draft busts I want to talk about. Paxton Lynch.
Whew, 3rd string. Somebody started a GoFundMe to get him off the team, actually.
Which is pretty sad considering they just drafted him 2 seasons ago.
He should have stayed at Memphis.
This is year 3.
Should have stayed at Memphis.
People were basically comparing him to an Elway type, someone who could both run and pass.
He was never Elway.
Highly athletic.
He's not highly athletic. He ran like a 4.
I didn't say he was Elway. I said Elway.
No, but I'm talking about like those. That was hype.
Yeah, that was definitely hype because I said he was more like Jake Plummer.
He's not even Jake Plummer, dog. He wishes he was Jake Plummer.
I know.
He wishes he could be Jake Plummer. He's more like an athletic Joe Flacco with like Tim Tebow's accuracy and like Kyle Bowler's pocket presence.
And somehow he'll probably still be a backup quarterback next year somewhere.
In Washington, probably. Probably Washington.
Probably Oakland.
I'll fight you if that happens. Yeah, we almost actually went to the Rams-Raiders game this weekend. Me, twice.
I actually got offered tickets for free, and I turned them down.
What?
Yeah. I have an NABJ event. Shout out to NABJ.
You didn't hit me up?
You're not my friend.
Whoa!
I mean, you're not my friend's friend, is what I meant to say.
Whoa! No! Whoa! Okay, alright. After 85 episodes, after doing 200 podcasts, literally, like, our second year anniversary pause is September 24th. Pause. That I even know that. I looked on Spreaker, I cheated. Pause. I just don't understand. Anyway, Paxton Lynch is trash.
We out here recording on the phone. Throwback.
So this time we're not in a hot ass room with no AC. But anyway, Paxton Lynch really should have never been a first round pick. Was
Y'all
never
started? By any chance?
Yeah, it's already on.
Yeah.
No, I said did y'all restart it?
It was off.
Why. This is wrong.
That was like that.
That silence you're hearing, ladies and gentlemen, is
Mr. Good News is in the house fixing up the Good News radio station.
shout out to Keith. But shit, the Broncos. Can we admit that John Elway doesn't know how to draft? Can we be honest about that? Bradley Chubb fell into his lap. Cody Latimer was the bust.
Shout out to IU.
Sammy Cobbs Jr. That's the receiver we forgot, by the way. That was coming out of Indiana this year. That Justin was talking about. But honestly, like, most of John Elway's picks have been busts. Bradley Roby, was that his pick? Probably. He's not a bust, but
You had to restart it?
Yeah, so it's not picking up the mixer, but I'm guessing because either he got pulled out or, yeah, or something like that.
I'm just gonna hit some more gunshots.
Blame Danny.
Yeah.
I feel like we
you know
should,
how
'cause it was-
people are.
It was totally off when
He
we.
didn't want, this is the first time he ever shut it down. And he tell me, like, this is the first time I ever shut the computer down. He usually leave it on because y'all here when they
Yeah.
leave. But
We don't even tell him to do that.
No, but he just
We
leave it
gotta
on
turn
because y'all here.
Yeah.
But today they pre-recorded because they was out here with the Venice Beach team.
Yeah.
So at least
How'd it go? Did you hoop?
I did hoop.
You did?
I did hoop.
Who got their ankles?
Nobody got the ankles sprinted yet. But I will say Mike can dribble. He
You're like,
can dribble, but
he lost some weight. You're like, okay, you can dribble.
he ain't Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying?
It's more like he bully you with the dribble.
He just more like, you know, because you play basketball on a professional level, you can dribble like Shaq.
Yeah.
So if Kia better handle the Shaq, but I don't know.
So it was a push.
There's, I can tell he has strong handles. But I'm not going to say he's the crossover type. More or less, just has control of the ball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Makes you actually go.
You were trying to DB him, huh?
I was putting the ball in his chest. Every time he squared up. He squared up on me. Yeah, it was fun.
So at least it wasn't the Zion Williamson fest at the park. Because that'd have been embarrassing. Did y'all see the highlights?
I saw him jump from the free throw line.
I was like, this dude is ridiculous.
He's been doing that, though.
No, it's like, to see it, it's like, dog, how does David Cutcliffe not demand you play football as a defensive end?
Just his money coming in basketball.
Like, could he just practice with the team? Like, we won't even touch him. Who are red court? He won't even wear a jersey. He'll just try out against our left tackle who is on scholarship here. And then Zion probably beats his ass. Because he's 6'9". Is he 6'9" or 6'7"?
I think he's 6'9". I think he was 6'7".
Because if he's 6'9", I'll take that. He didn't get to 6'10", that's fine. But if he was 6'10" and was doing that, I'd be like, that's Zach Randolph with like LeBron James athleticism. It's scary. So this is going to be an overtime episode.
I guess.
Like, you ain't said shit in like 5 minutes. I'm the only one talking. Bum ass nigga.
So it's a regular week then, huh?
Yeah, regular Tuesday. Regular see you next Tuesday. But yeah, in all seriousness, Emmanuel Acho's was going at Joey Galloway on College
There we go.
Football Live.
It just probably wasn't plugged out.